find my stream real quick. And we will get going. Oh, wrong one. I gotta delete that one. I don't know why that one shows up first. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. And hello. How you doing? I am Chris Tome with StreamCatcherSociety, and we are live, finally set up, thank God. The way I can control things. Machine over here, machine over here, machine over here, under here, over there. It's all set up. And I am ready to get going on some stuff. So let me just post this link real quick to X, because of course that's Twitter still. And we will say happening live now. And yeah, we're going to do some Cinema4D and talk about some stuff that's been going on in the AI sphere. A lot of amazing different things going on there. And we're going to get into Cinema4D, Photoshop, Illustrator, and do some Midjourney as well. So let me just grab this live streams. It's always fun to do this stuff on the fly, isn't it? There's the one. And go back to that. Post. And then the link, of course, for people who are interested. If you are posting links on X, for some reason, I have been told that Twitter does not like it. So that you will have to actually go, did I? There we go. And then post that. So what you do is you post it in a comment or reply to your original post down below. So great, we have that going. Okay, again, thank you for tuning in. We've got a few things going here, so I can switch my camera over there and say hello to you. And I'll be putting another camera somewhere eventually, because I do have another one. And then we've got over that way, in that direction, we have the 3D printing area, which we're gonna have set up. We've got a UV camera. I'm probably gonna have to pipe it through something else to get it to go. And then I also have a Canon T5i that I'm gonna be installing directly above me to shoot right down onto this beautiful, gorgeous Wacom Cintiq 24 Touch. This is what I do a lot of my painting and drawing on, and I have another monitor over here that I use and have a swing out on an arm that I can use together when I'm not doing live broadcasting. So I can also go ahead, of course, and switch over to my screen so you can see what's going on, and I've got Twitter up with all this stuff. So let's go ahead and show you real quick. I wanted to start with some news because everybody's talking about it, of course, and that is SORA. SORA is the new text-to-video generator that is from OpenAI, our favorite large 800-pound gorilla of AI tools. And this is, you know, they've got other tools that they've had out, and DALL-E, I think it's Google. Yeah, that's Google. So they've had other tools out, but nothing like this. This is mind-blowingly cool, and the amount of detail and realism that you're able to get in SORA is just taking it totally to the next level. So all of the little companies out there like Pika and Runway, who are doing all of the text to AI and then text to video and image to video tools and technologies like this, just kind of got a spanking. So I don't know how they're going to react to it. I don't know how this is going to flow down into the open source scene, because, you know, eventually all this stuff in a way either is copied or becomes kind of open source. Usually people just steal it. This one was interesting. I looked at this, and if you look at it, let's see if we can full screen this here. Yeah, there we go. Will it run? Okay. Yeah, this one was interesting because when I looked at it, the first thing I thought was first-person video game. It looked exactly like that, and to me, I can kind of see the textures, you know, in the ground and the way the truck moves and everything. It's just the whole thing seems composited like real-time 3D mapping onto real-time games. So obviously, you know, you've got some training data from video games that's going to be in here, and with this particular scene, it kind of looks a little bit like a video game, which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world, but you know, this is another shot of just a gallery you kind of walk through, and beautiful. I found this one particularly compelling too, because it's very bland overall in the subject matter itself, but besides the device actually rolling and moving kind of weird like it is, I think it's pretty cool, and I think it's amazing. The shirt, if you look at some of the detail in, we can even zoom in here, if you look at some of the detail in this shirt, where he's moving, and the pants, I mean, the realism is just incredible. Gaussian splatting, point clouds, 3D, who the heck knows exactly what's going on here? We can all speculate till our heart's delight. So yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, DALL-E 3, right, that is OpenAI. I get them confused. And then we've got Google Gemini, which I've got them all over here. ChatGPT, Google Gemini. Hello, StreamCatcher. So yeah, let me see. Go back to where I was. Where was I? Oh yeah, right, SORA. Okay, so there is another one right there. The legs are kind of interesting. When you see the back legs, there was another one of a cat that came out recently on X, and the cat looked like it had a broken leg. But I mean, overall, you're complaining about, you know, wow, it is the colors, the shadowing, the movement, where the dog is stepping, all of this stuff. It's just incredible that this is doing this kind of stuff. So Hollywood, storytelling, I don't know how this works as far as integrating it into the things that we are currently doing in the world to all make money and to be creative and be creators. I understand how this could scare some people. I do, and I'm not saying I'm scared. I'm not saying that I think storytelling and I think creativity comes from the heart. It comes, yeah. Why don't I just stab the mic? It comes from the heart. It comes from the mind. It comes from, you know, our ability to be sentient and think in ways that computers just can't. So, will this be able to generate a lot of, you know, generic kind of content? Absolutely. Will some people like that and settle for that? Yes, they will. But I think ultimately, if you're creating great things, people will want to come to them. And you know, these are new tools. But boy, man, look at that. That is just amazing. The reflections in her glasses, absolutely incredible. Those skin marks. You know, nothing. It's not perfect, right? Like just like reality is supposed to be. It's just amazing. So this is going to be very disruptive in lots of ways, from art and design and video and production and that kind of stuff professionally, but it's also going to be very disruptive from deep faking and doing all that kind of stuff, because we're just not able to believe anything that's real anymore. And seriously, how do we deal with that? That's not, it's not a good thing. So one thing I would definitely say with people, you know, when we're doing this kind of stuff, when you put out videos, do not try to pass them off as real. Don't try to pass them off as you know, this is real video or anything. It's one way to get in really deep trouble if you were to do it for political reasons or anything else like that. So I highly recommend not doing that. But all of these things, you know, you're going to have to really be certain about what it is that you're seeing is real. And maybe that doesn't matter to you, but it matters to me. Now, you can see this one, the dogs are kind of, you know, morphing and turning into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dogs. So we've got a little craziness going on there. I didn't even look at these before. Just look at that basketball with the shadow and the texture. Oh, whoa. That was pretty cool. It went through the rim. So, you know, it's still got issues, obviously, but the amount of processing and what's going on in here, it's quite incredible, because when you're talking about having oh, I'm not even showing you, sorry. When you're talking about having a diffusion cloud in a stable diffusion model that, you know, is a 2D flat cloud that it's rendering out, and it's not rendering, it's generating out, and it is sharpening that point cloud to the point where it's getting cohesion and it's bringing out an image. That's really you know, a kind of a 2D process. It's not having to necessarily think about things in 3D per se. This is like Gaussian splatting on acid. I would love to know more about this tech. If anybody is really good with explaining this kind of stuff and would like to come on and talk to me about it, we have an interview, it'd be great. So this is, again, this is SORA, and this is a Hollywood disruptor. You know, that we've got SORA here in black. If you keep scrolling down, it kind of gives you the sense that it's movie credits. So it's going on with the movie credits, you know, at the end. It's got the, you know, Roman numerals there. So I don't know if that's a poke at Hollywood, or, you know, if they should, you know, what they were thinking with that, but boy, that is, you know, definitely the truth. We are entering a totally new world of design and content creation and everything else, and tools like SORA are going to lead the way. But, you know, I saw on X earlier that somebody was following was saying that they were kind of upset that they were doing all of this work on text to video and massaging prompts and getting things done for the last 2 months. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this mic. And they were upset about it because now SORA has just come out and kind of blown everything away. So I would highly recommend you don't get too married to your tools unless they're staple tools. You know, so if you've got things like Photoshop or Illustrator or Cinema4D or even Blender, you know, you have staple tools that, you know, you want to learn as much as possible. But when it comes to tools that aren't, you know, if you're in production and you're doing production work, you can't afford to play with tools too much that don't get an end result that is useful. So it may be fun to play with and it may be enjoyable and you may see where the progression is going, but if it's not something that is actually making you money, you're probably going to put it on the back burner. So you've got core tools and then you've got tools you can play with, but these tools are going to start to converge. I truly believe that when we see things like SORA, we'll eventually maybe see a Cinema4D renderer, for example, where you're doing basic rendering of basic shapes and objects, and then the generation engine takes over, and based on text input and other LoRa's and other things you can create to give it a visual blueprint, it's going to generate out the final frames, and it'll have consistency, it'll have stability, which, you know, stable diffusion, it'll have stability, and it'll be really cool. But we're not there yet. But these tools are getting amazing, and now we're starting to talk about, maybe there's some convergence gonna happen. So anyway, that's SORA. I thought that was really interesting. I'll go ahead and show you some Midjourney in a little bit. I wanted to recommend Krea.ai if anybody is doing any kind of image upresing. There's also other stuff in here, generation and things, but I haven't played with that. But as far as image resolution upresing and AI upresing, it does a pretty good job. This is an image from my American Paint series that I've got coming out, and you can see what I do is I take the original renderings and I'll take them and I'll upres them, or I'll upres them in AI here, and then I'll upres them again. I might even run them through Midjourney again, do different things, and maybe stable diffusion locally, and bring out all kinds of cool images. But Krea AI, even the free version, will allow you to 2x upres and AI enhance an image. So if we go, for example, let's see, grab. One of the cool things that it does also is if we grab, let's see. If we grab an image and take a look at it, this is an old one. Let's see what we got here. Oh, very old. Okay, so we just upload this. It will actually describe for you the image. It was doing that anyway. New version. Oh, reload. Boop. Oh, there we go. That was weird. Let's try another one. The other one was looking pretty good. Let's see. Let's go back. Yeah, let's try that. Why not? Let's see, I've got crazy things going on. Now the settings, there we go. Okay, I don't know why there was a settings click. It'll actually give you a prompt. So one of the things that you can actually use Creo for is, and if you don't even have to up-res them, to use your credits, which you have, a certain amount of free credits that you can have, and I'm obviously out, you can get a description of the image itself, and then you could take this and you could run it through Midjourney, just like this, say, imagine, and then boom, and I've got some auto setups for version 6 and high variability. So, okay, what are we doing today? Let us talk about logo design and how we get things from concept out to a final product. One of the places AI falls short is, it'll give you a great image, but then you can't necessarily do anything with it. I'll show you in a minute, you can pull things out of, in Photoshop, you can clean the image up, you can do all kinds of stuff, but what you're gonna want to do is if you want a 3D logo, you want an opener for a broadcast sequence, you want any number of different output things to do with this logo besides just, hey, here's a pretty picture of this logo. You're going to actually have to take it in and, you're going to vector trace a logo. You're going to do different things to it. Then you can bring it into 3D. Then you can print it. You can cut it in vinyl. You can embroider it on a shirt. Whatever it is, you have to take it all the way through an actual production process. But where AI comes in into this process so far for me has been a tremendous way to iterate and ideate designs. So a friend of mine on X, Magna Republica, shout out to Magna, he came to me, was talking about the other day about how he was trying to do a logo in AI and he wanted some, metallic gold kind of logo with the X and an N. So XN, X Nancy. And he just wasn't getting what he wanted, that kind of thing. And he had some good stuff. Let me see if I can bring up something without showing anything too much. And I hope your wife's doing okay there, Magna. Where is Magna? There he is. Okay. So, yeah, he did this logo, which wasn't bad. He got it out of some AI program. I didn't even ask him which. And I liked it. In fact, I could take this, which I didn't even really think about after looking at it, but, I could take this and totally do this in 3D, quite easily with some vector shapes and everything else. And it's not the worst logo in the world. One of the things that I did not have was really a brief on, who this company was, what they did. It's like kind of a media company doing X spaces, so there's that. But they didn't, he didn't tell me too much about the owners, about anything. So normally when I do a corporate idea, I like to really dig in and find out everything I can about the company. But because I didn't have that, what I decided to do was just kind of go into Midjourney, iterate, and find some things that really worked for me and play around. And I also started in Illustrator and did some basic shapes and some other things that I wanted to play with as well. So let's take a look real quick at Illustrator. This was very interesting. So I started out, I started out about here. I'm just playing around with fonts and I'm trying different positioning, turning things around, making them backwards, upside down. I pulled this shape right here out of one of these, I believe. Pulled it out in Photoshop, made it so that I could vector trace it more easily in Illustrator, and then you can see, you can see these are together now. So, and actually I could take this, if I wanted to make it cleaner, get rid of all that, because I'd have to clean it up eventually anyway. But, you know, I was playing around with it and I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. And then I like this. I put those there and I saw, you know, what I was looking for when I saw, let's see. Is it because I saw, did I see it in his? I kind of saw it in his, but I kind of saw the idea of an arrow. And even though it's pointing kind of the wrong direction for a logo, I'd want it pointing to the right. It was a cool idea. I thought, you know, well, maybe an arrow, you know, and so I kind of saw the arrows in here. You can see I've got this one isn't quite even. So bring that out like that. And take these and align them. Oh, shoot, wrong one. Like that. There we go. So I was, you know, playing around. This was kind of a 9-inch nails kind of looking thing, and I thought maybe I'd go with that. But this one was really interesting too, because this one is using the generate feature in Adobe Illustrator. So the Creative Cloud suite of tools, Illustrator, Photoshop, and After Effects now have generative generate. They're just calling it generate beta. They all have generate. They all have generative expand. And then, so the Illustrator one's cool because it's vector, of course, and it's really neat what you can do. So if we take, for example, let's try this. Let's grab us a new copy of this. And you can see I've cleaned this up already. I'm going to go ahead and grab a new one. Let's do letter, landscape. Okay, so take that, copy that. I just held down Option to copy that. And now if I'm going to generate, I can say XN arrow. Let's try arrow logo. See what happens. So this is a really powerful tool. You know, this is amazing what you can get. I've gotten some really neat things out of it, pattern-wise and all kinds of stuff already. So amazing tool that we can do a lot with. So that obviously didn't work very well. But there's an X that's kind of cool, right? And then there's an arrow. So you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes, you know, you can just save stuff off as clip art if you like it. But that definitely did not work. So we're going to undo that. And let's see. Let's try X. One of the things, has anybody seen if there's a guide to using this particular window in Photoshop or Illustrator? Because I haven't seen it. XN text as Chrome gold logo. Let's try that. Because sometimes you get too flowery with your words and it just blows everything apart. And so it's easier to stay simple at first with AI text to image generation or, you know, this kind of stuff, and then ramp up your complexity of words. So that's, you know, I mean, again, you know, you got a kind of a cool X and an N there, but it's not what I wanted. No, that's not bad. See, that's not bad at all. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say that's a logo, but it'd make a cool graphic. You know, it would make something cool for any kind of website or, you know, clip art. But, you know, it's not doing what I want. But what I can do, though, is I can take this and I can copy it, bring it into Photoshop real quick. Photoshop, thank you. And there's that X that I brought in, and I'm doing the same thing. So I go grab a new document, which totally shows up over here on my other monitor. So we'll grab a new document. I'm going to make it bigger than this because I want it to be about, you know, 2,000 pixels by about 1,000. We'll crop it when we need to. RGB and create. And these windows going over the other. They need to figure out that I'm on this display. Adobe. Right. Okay. Smart object. And we go like this, hold down Option. One of the things with the newer Photoshops is that they scale proportionally unless you change that. So if you just hold down Option, you can scale from center. So we'll scale from center, scale it up like that. And that was more square. I'm used to doing HD work, so I'll bring that in. That. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and save Command Option S, save a copy of that. Under XN logo, we're going to say XN for MJV201. And then we're going to save it as a ping file so that we have transparency and save. Okay, so if we look at the, oh, it wants me to do this stupid thing over here. Yes, smallest file size. Okay, so we're done there. Go ahead and click here. You know, we just got an average size logo. We can even, you know, up-res it if we wanted to, but it's not necessary. We won't save that. Then we'll go over to our Midjourney. And we will go to describe. Oh, not describe, describe. Okay, and then we do an image. They have image and link now, which was interesting. Okay, so we're going to go to save that in the projects. Extend. Go by that. Date modified. And there it is. So we take that, hold, Command Tab over, and grab it and drop it. And then what we're going to get is, and I'm going to stay here on these XN logos. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go to my images, grab one of this little guy, and open that in Discord. So again, I've got my Discord here that I can show you some of the stuff that's been going on. And then I'm going to go over to here. Come on. Oh, look at that. Huh, where'd that come from? The image, there's a 3D character. Oh. Yeah, that's, okay, so this is from the Kriya thing. God, I'm doing too many things. It's fun. That's why it's ADHD. All right, so that is, that's cool. Look at that. Look at those. Those are great. Very cool. I think I'm going to do this one and that one. Up 2, up 4. Okay, so now we've got the XN logo here. I did a describe, and what the describe does is it brings you back 4 images, and you can re-roll and you can imagine all. So what this one says, gold color XN logo on a black background, the gold letter XN on a black background, a gold letter X with some gold foil, so that one's wrong, an image of the old X Field TV logo Google. What? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to here, and we're going to say gold colored XN, and let me see something real quick. Midjourney text. So V rolls. Yeah, this is medium. God, medium. Ugh. Midjourney replicate little text and image. So many results are Reddit anymore. It's crazy. Let's look this up. We're not in a rush. I just want to make a logo for a brand. Let's try this. What does I want movie poster with words I want printed on it? Okay. So go to bring that over there. And so you think that would be right as a logo? And then they say commas don't matter. I don't know about any of that. I've used this tons of times, and there's all kinds of tweaky, crappy, crazy stuff. This is not an interface. XN letters saying, and I've done at least 200,000 images in Midjourney, I'm sure. XN letters saying XN as a logo. Okay, so we're going to copy that. We'll see where we are. We're doing version 6, stylized 750, and then that aspect ratio is fine, even though it's a little weird. So we'll go like that, submit, and then we'll just keep this all the same, except for the first part. So with some gold foil, we'll take that. And we're just kind of giving it a little help because it doesn't get it, because it's a computer. These things are big, dumb, expensive pencils. That one's really cool. Look at the eyes in that and the hair. Oh, Lord, he's all fuzzy. He's like a hippie. Ooh, he's got something wrong with his mouth, too. All right. This is so much fun. Midjourney and all that is just so much fun. Okay, so we're doing that. And then, okay, we've got a few here showed up already. One, you know, that's pretty bland. You know, I mean, I'm not getting dynamism or anything out of that. So I would definitely want to be changing the prompt dramatically. I've got a number of different prompts in my Notion there. Got all kinds of prompts. That's kind of cool, you know. And I liked how I got some ideas off of these kinds of renderings that I was getting out, generations, pardon. But there's a nice one if you just kind of add a little of the top part there. You have XI. And there's XN there, which, that's not bad. And then again, when you have Photoshop, or anything, I don't know what else does it generative expand besides like outpainting in AI. But if you have Photoshop, you can take, an image like this and you can totally generative expand the image out. And in fact, I'll show you that for just a second. So that's wild looking. Very metallic, chromy looking stuff. I like the rust and the decay, and it really does a good job of kind of getting in there and giving you that weathered look. Really neat. So it's great for inspiration to give you ideas, but it's not going to really, do anything for you until this thing can pop out a 3D model. I mean, if you want to print it, make a sign, which, maybe, right? And again, I don't know what these people, I'm just doing this for the heck of it. So this is just kind of an experiment, visual experiment, thought experiment. I don't have a lot of background on this company at all, or who runs it, or what their philosophies are, or anything else like that. So it would be stupid for me to assume that anything is going to be done with this. I'm just playing around and showing you how, we can get stuff done. So that XX is really kind of neat as a background. So I'm going to pop that out. So if we grab, so something like this, for example, we'll grab it and copy it and bring it over to Photoshop. And then if we bring our crop tool, go out from, if I hold down Option, I go out from center, generate. So you can see it added to it, and then we can switch and see what the options are. So I kind of like that one. And we can do it again. What we do is just select this, shift click, right click, merge layers. And then we generative expand it again with our crop tool and hit generate. And just amazing what this is capable of doing now. Look at that. I mean, we have a full image now that we can play with. I can take this, hold down shift. What I'm doing here is, if you see, I've got, let's see, go here. That's my generative expand. Excuse me. That is my generative expand 2 that I did. And so I'm going to highlight both of those, right click, and say merge layers. Now what I'll do is I'll go over to Filter, Neural Filters, pull this to the side so you can see better. So the neural filters in Photoshop have all kinds of different tools and uses, from skin smoothing to smart portrait, makeup transfer, landscape mixers, things like that. This is my favorite one because I don't have to go into Photo AI. I just bring this into Super Zoom and grab it, say, let's go to 3x and remove JPEG artifacts. We do a little bit of noise reduction, just a little bit. And we don't want to sharpen things. Sharpen really destroys your image usually. Just FYI. It can be helpful. So processing on device, and you can see it's taking a little while. I have 128 gigs of RAM with a Core i9 10900K processor and an AMD 6900 XT. So it's not the biggest beast of a system by any stretch, but I like it. It's my main box, and I got my baby Wacom tablet on it. Review coming soon, and yeah, it's a great machine. I've been doing that for years and years, and I also have Macintoshes all around and iPads and iPhones, so I'm a total Mac head as well, but I love tech of all kinds. Okay, so now we've got this done. We will hit OK. And there we go. You can see it's freaking huge. So we'll go ahead and move that over, and you can see the original is still there. So we're going to kill that and not save it. And then we're going to say View, Fit on screen. Thank you. I forget my hotkey combos because I'm using so many darn apps all the time. Okay, so we've got our image there, and you know, that's just generative expand in a nutshell. It's amazing, it's incredible. I can't believe it's real. It's just every day I wake up and it's like Christmas. So I'm going to say XX outside gen fill. Okay. No, I just escaped that, really. XX outside gen fill. Don't care if that shows up or not. Okay. I hope I'm still live. All right. Definitely need to make sure I'm still live. Okay. So we did that. And yeah, back to that. Again, I'm going through and I am exploring some options. I'm saying to myself, you know, what do I want to make? Do I want to make these little X's, you know, bring these together? And I had some other ones. This one was kind of cool. I got that idea from one of the AI apps where it's kind of like an X and a check mark, but it makes the N as well with that X. And I thought that was really cool. So it was something worth exploring, and I saved it as its own file. But the one I wanted to play with, and then again, like I said, this came out of a generate in Adobe Illustrator, which it's not bad. You can see that there's an X, and I fixed it. This wasn't actually the original one was a lot messier than this, and I fixed it with symmetry and copied some things around. But you can see there's actually an X, but there's also an N in here. So that one, I thought that one was kind of cool, and I could definitely probably do some stuff with it. But for sake of the tutorial, I thought, you know, this one is really cool to play with. And I thought I'd do something with it. So I went and took it and brought it over into its own little layer here. And I have, as you can see, 3 layers. So the reason I did this way is because I wanted to bring it into Cinema4D, and I'm planning on cutting holes in all of these. And so I want to set it up so that it cuts properly, because if you don't set this up so that your stuff cuts properly, and again, that would be like, just to give you an example real quick, if I grab a piece of text and I say StreamCatcher, grab that. Now you do have to hold down Shift with Illustrator still. There might be a setting for that, but for the moment, you still have to do that. Now let's grab ourselves a thick, yeah, why not varsity? Okay. We've been using varsity. I wonder why. Okay, so we grab that, hold down Shift and Option, and we scale from center. And bring it down here so you can see it a little bit better. Now what I want to do is go to Create Outlines under here, Quick Actions, Create Outlines. And then I'm going to merge it all with the Pathfinder, and then I'm going to Object, Compound Path, Make, or that would be Command 8. Yeah, I'm going to remember that. Okay, and then after that, I can change, I can do that before, but I can change the color, I can do whatever I want. But watch this, we go Object, Path, Object, Path, Offset Path. And then now we can miter, we can round the corners, we can make them a little rounder, we can bring it out to say 30. So this is how you get these outlines. So I started out with the yellow one, went to the red, and then to the blue. And you can also do it on the inside. So if you go -4, it's actually going to bring it inside. And then, am I cutting out? I hope not. Okay. Bring it on the inside, and then we'll cut it, and then Command X, and then Command V to paste, and then we'll go and grab another color. So you can see that there is a perfect outline around this stuff. Now, when you try to do this in a 3D application with vectors and vector shapes, it's not going to work out too well. Guarantee you. It's kind of like how you have to do certain vector tracing and do certain steps and actually make all of your vectors as clean as possible. Use the minimum amount of points, all that kind of stuff. When you do it for vinyl cutting or you do it for 3D animation, you just have to have clean vectors. And when you do things like the path outlines and the offsets and that kind of stuff, it's much easier to do it in a 2D program like Illustrator, which is very capable, or even CorelDRAW, and then import it into Cinema4D than it is to set it up in Cinema4D itself. So let's go over to Cinema4D real quick, and I will show you what we've got going on for the moment. This is what I've got going on, and we'll show you how we import this and bring it in. I actually have I've already done a bunch of the work of Booleaning out and fixing things. So you can see here, Boolean this out, and let's go here. So you can see that's the two shapes. And then a bool will cut that out of there. So we'll go through all that, but what you start by doing, if you start in something like Cinema, you're going to run into this, where you're having to pull vectors and points and everything to get these letters to line up because they don't actually offset properly. Now there are tools that I am maybe not aware of. There are offsets like Thicken and other things that you can use in Cinema4D. But just like with anything else, I have found that the best way to go about, oh, I'm not even showing you, damn it. I forgot, okay. Back to Cinema4D. Let's do that again. This is the logo that I was talking about. So if we look here, we have the XN logo, and it's kind of, it's a mirror image of the N. So you've got that 9-inch nails kind of thing kicking a little bit. But this is the 3 layers that we have in Illustrator. So just like that, they get brought into Cinema4D as 2D vectors, and then using the Vector Illustrator import feature that Cinema4D has, we're able to bring it in, and then I copied it and did a few things with it. So as you can see here, let's try this. And that's the original, right? So the original vector import, as you can see, you put the file in here. Oh, you know what? That is down. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the file is vector import. And you want, yeah, it's kind of hard to see because I have it in my, let's do this. Hey, there I go. All right. Under object properties for the vector import, we've got this. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's just bring it in. Let's create a new file. And under this tool right here, we have vector import. Okay. So grab the file and click the little folder there, which throws up my dialog box over on my other monitor, of course. And, oh, did I already do the check mark? Oh, well, I did it. Okay, let's see what happens if I bring that in. Why not? This is called experiment time. That's the check mark that I told you I did. So that's kind of cool. Now you see right now it's got an offset of all the parts. So this one wasn't properly layered or actually edited at all to reflect that idea that I wanted to bring it into Cinema4D, but it came in anyway. So that's really cool. And now what we can do is bring this out and take your layer offset here. So see there, layer offset, and just take it down to 0. And then the layer offset goes like that. Oh, pass spread as well. Pass spread as well. Doop, there we go. Now we'll go to extrude depth. And there we go. That's pretty cool. So you could see that, you know, this was that easy. So I went from this Illustrator file right here, which doesn't have any layers in it whatsoever. It's just a bunch of groups and that kind of thing. Nothing is broken up. All the colors are still the colors. But, oh, it is actually separated, which is nice. Let's see. Is this one? Yeah, that one is too. Okay. Well, cool. So that one came in pretty cool, the way I traced it out and did that. Oh, it's got a hole in it. See, there's a hole in it. But anyway, if I wanted to fix this and do it upright, it would be as simple of a matter as bringing it into here and getting your logo. And then what you can do also is, this is going to probably create a mess, but we can create materials, okay? And that's going to go ahead, did it? Come on. Well, normally it creates materials. Somebody tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Hopefully I'm up and running still. I think so. Let's go ahead and make sure. Am I up still? Yes. Yes, I am. Okay, good. All right. Make sure to keep that up there so I can make sure to check. And top chat. Pop out chat. All right. Now I can see chat too. So is there anybody? Yeah. All right. Okay, so we are back. Now I can see chat too. All right, good. Okay, where are we? This is very cool. I want to show you guys this in a minute too. All right, so so where are we? We're looking through all these logos, all these different things. I ran this logo back again through. I've done this before. Scare beetle. I've started out this way, and we got some cool X's out of it. I definitely got a cool X montage going on with some of these images. And in fact, I think I'll render that one out. I might have missed it, and that one. You can also see here is some really beautiful. I mean, it provides you with amazing ideas, especially for motion graphics and all kinds of stuff. I'm obviously giving you all my prompts here, if anybody wants to copy them, of course. So X font logos saying XN. I tried all kinds of different variations on a theme to get the looks I was going for. That would have been cool Mac desktop back in the day. And then we got some more brush stroke kind of stuff, which was cool. Getting into some interesting things now, and that's kind of like a DKNY or some kind of logo. I don't know what that is. This was kind of cool. Slide this up to meet the other one a little bit. But I thought the wood and different stuff was neat, so I up-resed it. These didn't really float my boat. As we move on, this the brush strokes in this, the colors, just really just amazing. I love variating. I don't think about how many images I'm rendering or anything else like that. I just go. These are very cool. These are tiled patterns, I believe. Are they? Yeah, tiled. So if you see here, there's -- tile in Midjourney. That will allow you to create tiled patterns. And that one's kind of cool too. And then you can take these in. For example, copy the image. Bring it into Photoshop, paste it, Command-C, edit, define pattern, and of course it's going to bring it all the way over there. Let's see, AI tile 1. And then if we go, let's see, let's try 4096 by 4096. And we're going to edit fill. Oh, where's my winder? There it is. Jeez, goes all the way to the other side of the friggin' room. There we go. Pattern. Is it that one? Yep, there we go. So yeah, you can see it could use some work. There's it needs to be more flat, and you can get rid of seams and other stuff. But in fact, that's really a crappy tiled pattern. I've gotten way better ones out of that than that because it's kind of a anyway. All right, back to the goals. Stay focused on the goals. All right, so we've got that. These ones came out really neat too. I love the idea of having all this stuff for stock, for bringing into 3D, for doing all kinds of cool things in Cinema4D with stuff like this. We could do amazing things and recreate this stuff really easily with cloners as well, and might even do that in a little bit. This again, just really cool patterns and different things, and then we get back into the X's here. So what I did with this one was that it was an Illustrator X that I just made out of a font, and then I used the generate to turn it into this kind of crazy looking X, and then I moved parts around to give it that XN look. And then when I went in here, I changed these. I did them one by one and actually into the XN logo. So I started to get some cool, gold stuff. It doesn't ever give you really what you want, totally. But now, now we're getting a little bit more motion graphics-y. We're getting some ideas here, just it's great for ideating. Just amazing because you can see, okay, I can lay down texture here and lay the object down and render that and render the X over it. It just gives you ways to focus on how to build something. Because it's your idea that's giving you an image back. You can say, I can create that in 3D and make it my own. And that's a lot of fun. And with Cinema4D and stuff like that, I think that's awesome. So, these are kind of cool X's, just different things, but I'm not getting what I want. Again, these are all interesting, but not exactly what I want. Love that X right there. You could do something really good with that. X is really, really nice. And yeah, so I got X3, XX, it wasn't giving me what I wanted. Then we go down to here. Now we're getting XN. Okay, yeah, giving me something a little better, right? I've got something here. I can easily take this stuff out in Photoshop, do different stuff. And then again, if I wanted to, I could take this out, that part right there. But I don't want to go too crazy with ones I'd have to edit a lot of. But that one was kind of cool. I did some variations on that. And again, if you find something you like, you can bring it into Photoshop and easily get rid of things with the remove tool. You just and there it is. It's that simple. So there's, again, all kinds of stuff that you can do to make really cool things from the AI images as you do them. And again, I don't know if this matters, but I don't copy this image. I go to the browser and I copy this image because it's bigger. Okay, so here we go. So. I've got to stop saying so. That one was kind of cool. Might even upres that. That one was neat, right? That one came out great. So not only did I upres that one, I did a variation on that one. That one really I liked. And then I'm gonna go ahead and keep going down. These are all really cool. It's like a road with an X. And then you get stuff like this where you're not asking for a character, you're not asking for anything like this, but of course you get weird things, but that's all right. Weird things are all right. So there's a really cool variation on something, and you could easily do this in 3D and layer some, shredded elements on top of it. You could break this apart with Vorontal Fracture in Cinema4D, which is amazing, just an awesome tool. And we could definitely recreate stuff like that. Again, now we're cooking with gas, right? We've got this cool, I like this one, it's got you can't really totally see the end, but if you brought this swoop down and brought a little catch right here, you'd get just enough of the end, and that's really kind of new school. I like that very rounded, but also sharp look, and you've got some thickness and some thinness going on here. Right there, so we could get rid of that part, totally recreate that in 3D, no problem. Again, this one looks more like XL, but we can massage that to look like an N, take this part away, cut it down a little bit, and then of course that didn't work out at all. So there's that zoom that we did of it. And again, I did this one, I just rendered this one out larger, generated it out larger because I wanted it as a reference. Because if they said they liked something like this, I'd have it as a backup to kind of look at and say, okay, it's kind of like, that's almost a reverse Nike swoosh, which, I don't know how you could trademark that, but it's almost a reverse Nike swoosh combined into an X, factor here, X factor, and then, the hint of the N that I would have to then fix. But it looks really cool, and I even like the way it's kind of lit up from the bottom and has a really solid, dark, metallic or stone kind of texture to it, more metallic, I think. But yeah, just more ideas again. If you take a flat disk and you put it on another flat surface and you light it right, you get some cool shadow play. Simple things that you can do that this kind of reminds you, this is pretty. It doesn't have to be crazy necessarily. I liked that a lot. This one, too thick here, of course, and too angled up and down, so it would have to come back. It would have to come back like this, more to the in line with the X. But I like, the kind of look of that, so I kind of kept that as an example. And then here we're getting in better some gold and golden chrome kind of looks. That one's cool. I definitely liked that one. Indicating the other a leg of the N without having to actually indicate it. So that one I really liked. And that X one, that one came out pretty cool. I like how that kind of is broken apart. And this is just amazing ideas for typography. I mean, if you're a motion graphics designer, you may be freaked out by AI and all the other stuff and replacing us and everything. And I get it, I do. But wow, the idea factories that these things are for you to then take and make your own. So yeah, just look at that beautiful kind of textures, little flames on the ends, and none of this stuff is production ready per se. It's small, lower resolution images that you're going to have to mess with and bring into other applications to make better. But this is really neat. So I got I played around, got a bunch of stuff, and then I decided, okay, for purposes of the tutorial, we will go with this XN right here. And I really like the symmetry. I didn't, again, I don't have a handle on who these people are or what they're about, so we're just kind of playing around. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how we do it in Cinema4D. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at 40 different things. If I seem very distracted, it's because I am. Let's go ahead and save this just for fun. And again, thank you, Mr. Menu Man. Let's see. Check logo 1. And we're saving that next logo. Okay. All right. So rather than show you what I did here, we'll just go ahead and build a new one. We're going to go ahead and bring it in. And we're going to say vector import and grab our file. Here again. And that's going to be the check, nope, that one. All right, and we're going to go ahead and bring this up so we can see what's going on. You can see there's a layer offset. We don't want a layer offset, and we don't want a pass spread, or do we, right? So Y that's the height, and then extrude depth. Okay, now if we do a layer offset, but just that much, it'll help you see what's going on. We've got 3 objects, orange, red, and blue. Now, one thing to remember to take into consideration as well also is if you create materials with these and you keep them, yellow, red, and blue, and you start to do Boolean operations with them, what's going to happen is this. I think if I show this, show that. That one. A subtract B. Connect objects and delete. No, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Why is that not? Yes, so I want that. I don't want to move that. Oh, there we go. Well, that's why. Duh. You got to turn it on. Ugh. Some of the switches. Okay, switches. As you can see, the inside has been booleaned out and has left its mark because its mark is orange, right? So if you want different materials on the inside versus the outside, this could be very handy and helpful. If you don't, it could be kind of a pain to go in and have to readjust all that stuff and do whatever. So just might want to consider that when you're doing booleans, but I don't really care because it's not that big a deal. I can change the whole material at one time right now, not a biggie. But that is going to give you different colors. So again, over here, if we grab our object, which isn't an object yet, it's still in a state of not being editable. Okay, it's still an AI object that is being offset and all this other stuff. We've also got the ability to do caps. So we go over here with our caps and we bring the, you can see I've got the bevels going on the edges. And let's just say we want 1 millimeter, not 2, because we're all set up in millimeters right now. That's good. You want something with a nice edge that's going to catch a glint as you go along. But that's that. And we could, we could effectively render the logo now. Once we texture and light it, we could render it now. But what I wanted to do was all those Boolean cuts and all those different things. So you're going to have to make copies and do different things with them. So what I start by typically doing is I'll hold down the control key, or the command key, sorry, and I will turn this one off, and then I will take this one and I will make editable. And what that does is it pops it out so you can see all of the objects that are underneath it. So if I go and turn this a little bit, bring that out, bring this out, all right? So I can do that, I'll bring that to that way. And then I'll leave this one exactly the same because the out is going to be the one that I know where everything is. I'm going to keep it that way, and I'm just cutting out shapes. So once I've got that, I can go do this again. Let's try this. Do that again. Bring all of these down with the red button. You see all this little red button here. See? Off. I can see it all. And then on 2 times from green to red, and that's going to turn it off. And now all I can see is this, because this one's X'd out. This one luckily has the X part. I don't know why they didn't do that. You should just have a check and X for everything. But 9-inch logo, okay, so you've got it off, and then now all we can see is this logo again, right? So I want to use this one, this object right here. I want to cut out this object from that object. And I also want to cut out of this object to that object. Okay, so one of those to there, and one of those to there. So I'm going to do this one this way. If I go here, I'm going to delete that. That was X and in, okay? And then I'll go to X and mid, and I will delete that one. So if I go and turn this off, now we have nothing that you can see. And I turn this one back on, we've got the midsection, and then we've got this section. So these two are going to give me my cutouts for the centers, and I still have my main object to play with. So let's go ahead and save this right now. Throw it over there, thank you very much. And we will save it XN logo mirror 2. Why not? And now with this selected and that selected, we're going to turn this one off and we'll start with this one. Now what I need to do is go here and I need to say, I'm going to grab these two, I'm going to pull them out of here, delete these, I'm going to connect objects and delete, and connect objects and delete. Now, I'm not bothering to name these because they're just going to go away. But what I want to do now is hit the T key. Yes, T. And I'm going to stretch this way so that I can cut through, right? And then I'm going to grab E to move. So it's E, R for rotate, and T for scale. E to move. Grab that. And then I'm going to grab a Boolean right here. I'm going to grab these two guys and bring them up to the bool. Okay, now the bool is A subtracts B. And that's obviously not what I want, so I'm going to put it like that. And there we go. So A subtracts B, and you have the main center. Now, if I go here, I should be doing, I hope I'm doing this right. Am I doing this right? Yes. Okay. So turn that off. Okay, and then we'll grab this one. Yes. Okay. You're hiding behind the thing. Okay. We're going to grab these two. We're going to grab and go connect objects and delete. Connect objects and delete. Grab these two, bring them up here. Get rid of these. Oops, wait a minute. Get you up there. Null you guys out. I can grab another bool. Fill. Oh, wait, I need to. That's that one, right. Okay, let's go ahead and expand you out. Expand your mind. Okay, and it doesn't really matter. I'm just making it bigger than it needs to be. Okay, grab those two, bring them up to bool 1. And there you can see we've got the cutout there. So good. We've got that, and connect objects and delete. Cut out. Oh, no. Cut out. Oh, 2, 1. Oh, 1. Why not? Command A, Command C. We'll copy that. If I bring the bool up here. That. Yeah. So I did do the same thing twice. Really? So, that didn't work. How am I getting that shimmer? You're gonna have to bear with me just a second. Okay, so cut out. Okay, so I must have done it twice. All right, let's just not do that. Let's go here. Those are garbage. Right, got it. Grab that again. Turn you off. Make editable. And that's why we keep copies. So save that again and go XN in and then mid. All right, so we got the mid. Oh, that's what I need. I already got that one, right? Yes. Okay. So I need this one. I need to go connect objects and delete. There's other, I don't want that. There are other ways to do all of this stuff. I know of certain ways because I am not the most amazing Cinema4D guy, although I wish I was. I'm definitely working on trying to get better. Okay, so that's that. Now we've got that. We want to take that and we want to get that fill. Is that the one? No, we want to get that fill. And stretch. And then again, just do another Boolean. It's a Boolean, don't you know? Bring that up. Oh, wait a minute. Bring that up. And there we go. So then we go connect objects and delete. We go X and middle. Okay. And then boom. All right. Awesome. So now you can see that we've got two cutouts of this logo, and we can size them. We can, do whatever we want after the fact. You can see here. That'll fit perfectly into here. So once we've got that, we go ahead and grab, that's XN middle, and that's XN. Wait a minute, let's make sure that's middle. That's middle, okay. And then that's XN out. It's always good to keep track of things. Make sure, yes, that is the one. Okay, and then this guy is dead meat. And we go ahead and grab another version of you and make editable. And I just want the inside this time. Bring it up and out. Connect objects and delete. XN. If there's a little pop going on this, I apologize because I don't know if you hear it or not, but I do. XN in, okay, great. And then we've got that, and we can get rid of that right there. And now you can see we've got three pieces that fit in perfectly with each other. And we've got bevels on all of them. Go over to here to the middle. Bring it out like that. And then in. See where we are on the back. Yeah, it's kind of cool. We could extend that a little bit, or we could leave it like that, which is kind of cool. And then we can play with some colors and do all kinds of cool different things. So, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, I tried to do a mute. All right. Let's go ahead and show you how to do some colors and stuff real quick. Let me go over, let me see if I can find I'm looking up. Date modify. Okay, Art Deco woman. Yeah, that might have some lights. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so get rid of her. This is a 3D piece I did. As you can see, it was Mid-Journey to Adobe Illustrator, or Mid-Journey to Photoshop to Adobe Illustrator to Cinema4D. And yeah, it came out pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to go ahead and save this as under XN logo. XN logo dome. And then we will grab all of you guys. Highlight those, Command C. Love Cinema4D for just its simplicity and ease of use in so many ways. And then in other ways, it's deeper than a friggin' bottomless pit. So I've got my camera settings wrong. So view, configure. Oh, wait, yeah, right. Is it that one? No. This throwing menus on other windows thing is really a pain in the butt. The external render is calculating an image. Yes, I want to stop it. Okay. Right, so is it that one? Yes, it's that one. Buttons, all the buttons. Okay, so let's do HD 1920 by 1080 ratio. Horatio. And we are on Redshift. Good. Okay. Great. All right. Let's do that again. Finding menus on other screens is really a pain in the butt. Yes, I want to stop. Thank you. Okay. Wait, let me make sure I've got that set up. Right. Output. Well, we're getting popping there. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, good. Now we've got something to work with. Save that. Now if we go over to our materials, you can see we've got some materials set up here, but they're not metals or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to take the dome light. I'm going to turn off background. And let's go ahead and add, oh, no, not that one. Let's go ahead and add material. Let's try car paint. That's nice. Let's grab us a gold color, maybe? I want to get the wheel. I don't remember how to get the wheel here. All right. So let's go ahead and grab us a orange. Not exactly the color I'm looking for, but you never know. Okay, we just put it right to that. Now you can go in. The other thing too is that when you have these items, you can change the colors on the bevels, on the front faces, on the back faces, and on the sides just by using little codes that are here. So you can see there's S, C1 is the bevels, I believe. C2 is the bevels. That I don't know why these are labeled this way, but that's how they are. And you can put different textures for different materials and different things on there. So let's go ahead, and I don't like that material at all. We're going to go over to our material manager here, and we're going to look at materials. And we're going to say car paint. There's metals. There we go. Let's try these metals. So let's grab us a metal here. Try that one. And a metal here. Let's grab us a red metal there. All right, and then I'll put that back. Take this out. We can just see what this gives us. Render out. Oh. So let's tooltip it. Render to picture viewer. All right, and then the picture viewer will start rendering. And you can see, I mean, this is a basic, light setup with a dome light and an area light, and that's it. And we can use the Redshift interactive preview renderer to check it out. But I just kind of wanted to see what we're going to get out of the basics of this. Now, once you have the logo, let's go ahead and I have to remember to change this back. Once you have the logo inside Cinema4D, you're far from done with texturing and everything else. Some people really go crazy and separate all the objects down from polygonal, from the bevels to everything else, and they'll render and texture those. But you definitely have to do remeshing and connecting and other things. And then if you do that, you can do all kinds of amazing things with fields and particles and blow things away and make them sweep away. And the possibilities are truly, truly limitless. And this one is rendering out, taking a long time. So let's go ahead and not do this right now. Would you please bring my windows over here? Yes. All right, let's see if we can get the Redshift interactive preview. What is it? The render view, Redshift render view. And we will take and drag this over to here. And then close that and hit this. And then what we can do, and this is on an RX 6900, so it is not fast at all, and it's not all that pretty either. Pardon me. Excuse me. It's not great at all on this. On my 3070, it does fantastic. It's much, much, much better. But if we look here, we can zoom in, and it gives you an idea, but we're dealing with real low poly counts right now. And then let's go ahead and pull this out. Let's see where we are with our area lights. Let's go here. Okay, so we just got the orthographic view. And let's rotate this around. You can see my you can do light passes. And I mean, the interactive, the render view is definitely helpful. Let's get this area like cranked up a little. You can see I could do a light pass very easily on there. And so once we can play around for 3,000 days. I could show you all kinds of neat stuff. But once you get an idea of what you want and you're happy with it and you want to render, you go ahead and render. Now, we're not, like I said, even close to that, because what we have to do is we have to take these middles and, these parts and remesh them. So if we look at, let's go ahead and turn off our lights. You're not going to give me any more space, huh? I'll close that for the moment. If you look at these objects, okay, they are, let me save this real quick, save that. They are not by any stretch of the imagination done. They're not, if you want to do anything with them, blowing them away, bending them, doing whatever, they're going to break because there's hardly any polygons in any of these, and they're all big, flat, non-quadrangular or triangular planes. So you're going to have to fix that, and the way you do that with Cinema4D, at least the way I know how, is with remesh. So we've got our object here, and I don't want to do that. I want to grab that metal again. Let's see. Grab that one. Why not? Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to remesh this. We've got these objects off, so we've got, the out and the middle are off, and the in is what we're dealing with right now. And I will switch it back so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. The XN in and is on, and the middle and the out are off. And then again, I'm sorry because you couldn't see it. Let me see my chat window, make sure. There's nobody. Hey, somebody showed up. Hey, Snappy, how you doing? Wish I could zoom that. Oh, I know how I can do it. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, yay. Yeah, hi, Snappy. How you doing? All right, thanks for showing up. Okay, back to cinema. Again, so we, to go over this one more time, we're in our orthographic view. We've done some metallics here. We've got the XN logo here that we were working on. We can color that. We brought that over to this where we have a dome light and an area light. And we've got a bevel on that, everything looking good there. And now what we want to do is, if we go over to here, let's see if we yes, we got our bevels, you can see all that. Take our in, the out and the middle are off right now currently. We take our in and we go overhead and we go to remesh. You can see this little panel here, the subdivision surface panel. Subdivision surface panel object is very popular. So remesh, and then we grab our XN in and just pop it on like that. Now, you can see it turns it into a crappy blobby mess, and then you freak out and run into the hills and die. No, what you have to do is go over to the remesh, and we're going to take the mesh density up by, let's say 600%. And then we're going to take adaptive count, and we're going to take that to 0.0001. Let's just take it to 0. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so the remesh, let's see. Let's take it up to 2000. Okay, and you can see I'm getting better. We're getting a little bit better, and that means that there was no polygons hardly at all in this thing. So let's take it to 5,000 and see what happens. What's going to happen is me doing that again. I'm going to have to get rid of that. Okay. Now we can see that things are a lot cleaner. Oh, they're not cleaner at all. Yeah, I'm doing something wrong. What in the heck? Let's see if the connect works. Wait a minute. Remesh. Z remesher polygon count. Say 100, let's say 50,000. Oh, that's a dense mesh, all right? But it's still not giving me what I want. Why does it look like that? This never done this before, so I'm kind of wondering why I'm getting nastiness. Okay. No. Okay. Well, let's try it a different way. Let's try going with connect. And do that. Connect objects and delete. Remesh. Let's do mesh density. And adaptive. Well, that looks much better. All right. Was I doing it backwards? Just needed to connect, I guess. Okay, so that's looking good. I don't know why that didn't work, but then we have to do another connect right there with the remesh. And then let's say I'm going to take that to 8,000. I don't know how many polys that is, so I'm going to try and just play around here. I'm going to grab this guy and copy him, turn that off, and connect objects and delete, and then object information, which is right there. Oh yeah, so that's only 25,000 polys. So we could do that quite a bit more. So go ahead and take that, grab that, we'll copy this one again, this connect. We'll go under remesh, and we'll take it to 30,000. Why not? Let's see what happens. Look at how clean that is. Am I getting clean? Let's see. Looks like I'm getting a little creasing still. Definitely need to work with this a little bit more. But anyway, the mesh density is fine. Let's just play with this for now. So we'll connect it, connect objects and delete. And that's the XN in. So XN in, XN middle, and XN out. And we'll take this connect and move this down here because that's a spare. And we'll call it connect in spare. Okay, save that. It's always helpful to name stuff because when you go back to a file later on down the road, you're like, what was I thinking? What did I do? Holy crap, I don't know what's going on. All right, so that's metal powder. Is that what I just did for that one? I guess so. Okay, so let's copy that one. And we'll call this metal Lord. Metal 02. I'm not caring too much about what's going on here because I'm just trying to get some differences in color to play around with some stuff. Like that. Oh, bad. All right. Let's go ahead and grab our metals again. Let's grab a metal here. Oh, wow. Highly reflective. Okay. And let's grab a metal there. Okay, and then redshift, render view. Over here. So I might as well bring it in here. That. close you. And I will definitely be showing you some Cinema4D stuff that is not on this machine because it is not as good with Redshift. I mean, I guarantee if I saved this and quit Cinema and went back in, I would actually flush the memory saving. I would flush the memory of Cinema4D from the Redshift, from the AMD card, at least hopefully, and it would work better. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But again, so we're playing around with these XN things, we're playing around with these logos in Photoshop. I'm bringing things into Illustrator after I've cleaned things up. We can see that we've got some more, let's see, icons. Yeah, I cleaned that one up. That was one, you know, like you can see this all that's what I started with, okay? So that's what we started with, and then we generative expanded it, so we had a little more room to play with, and then took that part out, and then those parts out. And I just wanted to see, you know, what it was gonna look like. So that's what I did there. But using all the tools to iterate, again, this is a logo I made, pardon me, logo I made in Illustrator, and then I brought into Adobe Photoshop and did a couple things too, but I really like the way that, you know, arrow is created in the center. Now it's to the left, which probably isn't the way that the people are, which is to the right, but you know, you could say never go left, go XN, you know, all those kinds of things. Ideas, iterate ideas, and the best way to do it is just kind of play around and look at things as you go along to inspire you. And like I said, that one little generative thing that Illustrator did, you know, here's another one. The XN logo, it was a mess. It was a garbage mess, but I actually cleaned it all up. And then I could potentially take this quite easily and do different things to it, from turning it into a black and white, getting rid of some of that gradient stuff, and then just getting the shapes out of Illustrator, and then I could easily bring it back into Cinema4D and do my thing. So let's go ahead and go back to Cinema4D. And the splash screen is really nice, but it's on the other window. So you can't see it. Sorry. And there we go. Don't you know? Yeah, when it loads, it has a really cool animation of a couple of umbrellas doing their thing. So, but the splash screen comes up, has Ask the Trainer. There's all kinds of cool information. I've been using Cinema4D for a long, long time off and on. I just haven't kept up with it. I've been doing other things as well with business and other graphics tools and all kinds of stuff. I'm working very, very hard at having more time to get back into it, and I really need a good, solid course on this, because the things that are confusing me most are hierarchies and which ones go where and that kind of thing, fields and forces, and there's all kinds of different stuff that you have to plug into other things. So remembering it all is a bit of a bear, but I'm working on it, and I'm not getting any younger, but I will continue to work hard and try at it. Okay, so let's go ahead and open recent. Okay, that's the bool. Let's just open here. And of course, other window. XN logo. There we go. Oh, that's that one. Okay. Oh. open again. This window thing is killing me. All right, mirror, dome. That's the one. The scene has been upgraded to the latest format. That's a common thing. We've got our redshift feedback display. Warning, the scene has been upgraded to the latest format. Okay, see, that's one of the problems we might have had with the screen display. You can see it's very shiny, highly reflective, metallic logo. But I do not have a final render for you. Unfortunately, I have not done the due diligence. But let's see if we can get a render out of it. And we can go ahead and look at other things while this is rendering, but I don't know how long it's going to take. Let's just take a minute here. All right. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and go back here to, I wonder if that Creo thing. With Creo, you can go and pick your style, photorealistic, digital art, whatever it is. Color correction, you can do that. And I can enhance. That's saying I can do it, but I don't have any funds or time left. So yeah, there's Gemini. Gemini was released. SORA was released. ChatGPT again, of course, we've got all that stuff. We've got Mike Mozart there. Some shout outs to people. Oh, look at this. Nazi Town, USA, American Experience. What the hell are you talking about? Mid-walking, ugh. I don't even know what that means. Okay, boy, X can be full of fun. All right. Okay, so we are going to get rid of that for the moment. Vision Pro, very interesting. The Vision Pro, people are returning the Vision Pro. I was kind of surprised about that, but that evidently is a thing. And waiting for the shaders to compile on this thing. Definitely not ideal for doing redshift. And in fact, if we do this and we say, kill that, go back over to my other window so I can grab that thing. Yes. And we can actually turn off redshift and use the physical renderer, which isn't bad at all. It's excellent for doing some stuff, but it looks like I'm going to crash. Yep, I'm crashing Cinema4D. Bummer-ino. Yeah, definitely problems with AMD. Redshift loves NVIDIA cards, so running Cinema4D on a Mac can be problematic, although the Apple Silicon versions I've heard are improving quite a lot. So I'm going to, I still can't get that splash screen over. All right, so let's move that again. And size medium. Boop, okay. Oh, look at that, full screen. Cut that out. So what we can do is, let's go ahead and open that file. That's not the one I want. Sorry about this window thing. I have to have the other window up to see what I'm doing. Illustrator version dome. There we go. Yes, oh Lord. These windows. So let's go ahead and grab all of these guys and copy them, and paste, and we'll go up, go over to here, and on this window you can change your output from Redshift to the physical render or the standard render. So we can go, we can even try standard, which is fine. Let's do physical. I like the physical render. Okay, so we've got physical render. We can see, boom, we've got nothing now. We can't see jack. We better get ourselves a light. So get a light. Let's take that. And then we got to go to here, get rid of all of these, grab ourselves a color, and there we go. So this is the easy route to do it if you're not a Cinema4D head or a Redshift head and you don't have any, you don't have super high-end hardware. You can actually use the physical render. See, that's an RS feedback display. I don't want that. Where's my, there we go. Boy, this separate monitor thing. Okay. So we grab ourselves a red. Go red here. And we'll do a red, white, and blue. Why not? Patriotic, right? I'm patriotic for what America was. I don't know what the hell it is right now. Okay, do a blue, and you know there we can do glossies and all kinds of other stuff. There's definitely different materials in the physical render that you can, or in Cinema4D that you can do with the physical. But right there you can see we've got, that's Garage shading. If we go here and render this, you're gonna see we get hardly anything. But if we bring the light out, aha, and then we render, now we can see that we've got something a little more realistic. So do that, and again, when we've got just the logo started, you know, one of the things that you can see again, we've got for XN out, we've got very few polygons, right? So we're gonna have to remesh all of these things. And then when we remesh them and add, so we go ahead and say, let's go ahead and connect, because that was the way it liked it, right? So we're without, all right? So connect, and then, is it remesh then? Is that what I did wrong? Remesh. See, that blurbs it out. Okay, so remesh, mesh density 20,000, 10,000. Okay, it'll only go to 10,000. Mesh density, okay. Well, that looks pretty good. Okay, well, then I did it wrong before. Must have been. Okay, so now you can see I've got a really nice, clean mesh, and it's nice and dense, as you can see from here. And if I go over here and I go to, come on, is it that? Oh, no, that's not what I want. No. 1,000. Okay. All I wanted to do was this. row shading with lines. Okay, now as you can see, we've got really nice mesh properties here. Even though there's some problems here in the corners and different things, generally the mesh is solid. We've got quadrangles, all the, everything is set up so that once we have this mesh how we want it pretty much, we can go ahead and connect objects and delete, and we can even remesh it. And let's see what, actually, let's call this X and out. And then we will remesh it again after I check what the polygon count is, which is, of course, over on the other window. 40,000, right, so that's not really that big a deal at all for something like this. I mean, we could easily double that. So go here, remesh, boom, and then 200, adaptive, and all the way down to 0. And now if you go into here, you can see that there's a lot more polygoners. And it puts them in the places where it thinks it needs them most. So we can go ahead and grab another connect. And if I'm doing this wrong, somebody feel free to point it out. But this is the only way I know how to do it. Tolerance. Maybe that's why my tolerance wasn't good on that. Okay, so I could go all the way back. Connect, tolerance of 0. Yeah, look at that. Forgot my connect tolerance. That's much better. Absolutely. And remesh, right, connect objects and delete. So I just basically undid a bunch of stuff to get back to before I screwed it up. And then I can go ahead and make another remesh. Oh. Make another remesh. Take it up. Let's take it up to 300 this time. 300% adaptive, and take that down. That's looking better, and then we'll do a connect again. 0 tolerance. 0 tolerance. All right, and then grab this, and I can make it editable now, which is interesting. So the whole, I'm still not used to that, but the whole idea of make editable and that kind of thing never used to work. So you'd have to connect objects and delete. So I'm used to copying objects and putting them back. And that's, it can be frustrating when you don't really know some of the workflows and some of the best ways to do it. I totally understand how people can get lost and frustrated. I definitely do myself sometimes. So XN out, bring that back down. Now XN out now has object information is over here. 158,000. Now that's probably more like it for an object that's going to have that much mesh, changes in density to it, the curves, the different, this is a full outline of 3 letters. So, you'd expect it to have some density. It doesn't need this amount of density to do what it needs to do. You can definitely change the adaptability and whatever, but if you're going to take the logo and blow it apart with particle systems or do different things with it, you're going to want that geometry. In fact, I can just show you with a field force that we can add to it, like a bend or a twist modifier. That, I think, does that go below? I always get that mixed up. Twist. Fit to parent? Yeah. Okay. And then let's see it. There we go. Okay, great. This will give you a really good example. So when you have lots of geometry, what you can get with like a twist is you can get really good twists where you see things aren't breaking as we go along. And you could fit to parent. And that's why you want to have lots of mesh density in something like that. You can also, I'll show you like a veronal fracture, which is very interesting. Let's see here. I've got to respond to my wife real quick. Give me just a moment. Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead, show you the veronal fracture here. This one's really neat. Is it? I always forget where it is. There we go, veronal fracture. This is very cool. So you take this, I believe, and drop that in here. Yeah, and now this is going to fracture this object into lots of different objects. Let's go ahead and grab let's grab another light. We can see things a little bit better. So veronal fracture will actually take your object and break it up into lots and lots of little pieces and chunks and that kind of thing. And you definitely need to go through the whole remeshing process and everything and kind of get the mesh density to how you want before you're going to be able to break up anything in a veronal fracture kind of capacity. This is also helpful for doing, what is it, the volume builder and the volume mesher. So, second, okay. Yeah, so go over to veronal fracture. We've got object, source, geometry glue. Where's my object? Hole only. So we can offset the fragments by a certain amount, and you can see that they're going to break up. And put it back down like 1.4. That way you can see it better. So we can break up the object into multiple pieces, and then we've got sources, viewport amount. There we go, point amount. That's what I was looking for. Whew. Okay, let's crank this sucker to like 400. Why not? And then random seed it again, and you can see if I'm moving the random seed around, just sliding the slider, all these points change, so you can get different looks depending on what you want as far as the breakup of these items. And again, we've separated them out a little bit, so you can see if I bring them back in, it closes it, makes it totally solid, but then you can take these pieces and you can use force fields and other kinds of different physics engines and different things to blow them away or to make them fall on the ground. You can use gravity and collision detectors and all kinds of stuff to do just amazing things with logos. So this is one of the processes that I go about doing all of our logo work. I didn't totally finish the logo, of course. Like I said, I haven't been just playing around with this to show you kind of an idea of how things work. But as we look around at different kind of ideas and different ways of exploring logos and trying to figure stuff out, it's just a fantastic way to play. And I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. As you can see, my studio is set up differently. Hopefully you can see that. And I've got my trusty system here. The other computer is running the YouTube stream, which is the only way to fly. And we will be doing a lot more of this in the future. But I think for now, we'll call it a day. I'm glad to hang out with you guys. I'm glad to show you some stuff. I would definitely love to do some interviews with people. We're going to start, the website is next. After this video, we're doing some Cinema4D videos, but the website is next. And we're going to get that up and running, and we're going to start doing interviews and have profiles with artists and technologists, AI people, LLMs, generative AI, SORA, whatever the hell's coming next. We're going to be all over it. I want to thank everybody for coming today, hanging out and viewing, and we promise we will get better if you will stay tuned. Take care. God bless. Streamcatcher out.